I don't think I'm going out on a limb by saying that Jamarcus Russell is probably the biggest draft bust in NFL history, especially in the last 20 years. You could probably argue Doug Flutie is also on that list. But if you have anybody that you think is a bigger draft bust than Jamarcus Russell, let me know down in the comments below, because I would love to try to do a resim or career sim on them to give them another chance. Tim Tebow actually comes to mention. I think it'd be cool to maybe move him to running back and see how he does. But nonetheless, guys, we're going to hop right into this. Jamarcus Russell, we're going to go through the whole career, see if we can get him back to fame, maybe put his name back in some good graces, because, man, I'm sure there's a lot of Raiders fans out there that don't like Jamarcus Russell, and maybe some even pity him. I mean, he had a lot of weight problems. He just never was able to get things together. But without further ado, let's go ahead and hop into this. What I'm going to do is we're going to do a fantasy draft. I'm not going to bring in Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields, any of those, just because we're just going to. This is fantasy. It's made up. But we're also going to start this off right at the draft, see who picks up Jamarcus Russell. That's going to be really fun. And then we're going to go right into the regular season. We're going to fast forward through all these things, see how they do season in and season out, and then see if maybe he becomes a Hall of Famer, maybe break some records, some cool things like that. If you're liking the content, make sure to like and subscribe down below. Let's get right into it. All right, everybody, here we are. I'm going to bet that Jamarcus Russell is going to go with either the Jets or the Washington football team. Let's see what happens. And Brandon Harris. So remember, this is a fantasy draft. I did not import all of the current draft prospects because this is make-believe. We're giving Jamarcus Russell another chance at being a superstar. And let's see what happens here. And there we have it, Washington football. Probably a little gun shy from having Dwayne Haskins, but it looks like the Washington football team has taken the LSU prospect, Jamarcus Russell, and the biggest bust in NFL history, in my opinion, gets a second go at it. Let's switch over to the Washington football team and see what happens. All right, everybody. So you see, Jamarcus Russell didn't get a lot of help in the draft. They did end up drafting a right end or defensive end, 70 overall, but really they got a steal in the 4th round to go opposite of Terry McLaurin and Dontrell Inman at a 72 overall. He's got 95 speed, Marcus Allen does, so that's pretty good. Not a great overall draft for the Washington football team, that is for sure. And it's going to be interesting to see if Jamarcus Russell is going to be able to overcome the franchise that is the Washington football team. I mean, this whole franchise currently is in shambles. Ron Rivera is doing a really good job of turning the franchise around, and really one offseason they have a chance to win the NFC East or least, depending on how you're going to put that. But I think this is going to be cool. I think this is going to be cool to see. Got a good defense, got some good piece on the opposite of him. And Chase Young, so it's going to be cool to see if they can keep both of these guys around. Let's switch over to the Washington football team and get this resim or career sim underway and see what happens. I'm kind of excited. All right, everybody, let's go through the roster and just see what Jamarcus Russell is kind of working with. Now, we know that he was not working with a whole lot with Oakland Raiders back in, what was that, 2007, 2006? Madden actually had him ranked at one time at an 82 overall, which is a lot higher than I ever thought they got him. I think that was in the 08 season, but I might be wrong on when he was drafted. I can't remember. But nonetheless, you see Le'Veon Bell. Actually, they ended up getting Le'Veon Bell out of free agency, but he's hurt for 4 more weeks. I do have injuries on. I want this to be kind of as realistic as we can. I mean, injuries happen in careers. If he gets hurt and he has a career-ending injury or something like that, if he gets traded to another team, if he doesn't get re-signed, we're going to follow him throughout his entire career until he retires. Of course, Terry McLaurin, 92 overall, a awesome breakout wide receiver for the Washington football team. Let's see, who else do we have here? We've got, is that Steven? Yeah, Steven Sims. So a little young talent there. There is the Marcus Allen that they drafted this offseason. And the offensive line is pretty bad. I mean, we got the former first-round pick from, what was that, 2017, 18? Can't remember now, Morgan Moses, who's kind of disappointed. You've got Brandon Scherf here at right guard, a pretty stud right guard in his own respects, but the offensive line is pretty bad. So it's Jamarcus Russell going to have to do his best to keep this offense on track. Of course, no surprise, Chase Young, X Factor, defensive end for this defense. And we've also got some pretty good. Got Kevin Fuller, Clinton Dix, Landon Collins. I mean, this defense is actually pretty decent. They could use some help, offensive or outside linebacker. But I mean, the defensive line is pretty good, and it's only going to get better in some spots. So I'm pretty interested in seeing how this goes. We're going to fast forward to mid-season. We're going to look at the stats, and we're just going to keep going through this. And I'm kind of interested in how Jamarcus Russell is going to do. Let's go ahead and fast forward. All right, the Washington football team, 3-4, going up against the 3-4 Raiders. How ironic is that, going up against the Raiders? We got to see if he wins that game. We are in third place, only 2 games, or what was that, 1.5 games? Or 2.5 games, I don't know. Out of first place, so we still got a chance here. Still got a chance. Let's see, Jamarcus Russell, 4 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, guys. This ain't good. Now, what I don't think I've touched on this, is when I made this character, I went back and found some of the older ratings that Madden had to add on them, and I adjusted a few things and tweaked a few things, but I got it pretty close. It was a 76 overall, and I thought that was pretty respectable and par on for a rookie quarterback, you know, especially a first-round draft grade there. And is he running any? So he's ran 23 times and only picked up 76 yards. He's got a touchdown. So, I mean, he's kind of a bruising running back, kind of like in the like of Cam Newton. Not as fast as Cam, but he can move it a little bit. 61 completion percentage, that's not bad. Let's just see. I'm interested also if he sticks out with Washington. We're going to also get to see Chase Young do some stuff, so that's pretty cool. Let's see if he's gotten any sacks. My God, Montez Sweat's got 5. Chase Young's got 5, so they're both on pace for double digits there. And, yeah, we'll see did he win any weekly awards? I highly doubt it. Montez Sweat, did he have 4 sacks last week? Holy crap. So those were all his sacks came from. Doesn't look like we have anything going here. All right, we're going to keep fast forwarding. Interesting. Hopefully he can get those interceptions toned down a little bit. And actually, let's just go to next week. I want to see if he beats the Raiders. And he does, 17-16. We've got some weekly awards here. And Montez Sweat has 3 more sacks. So in 2 weeks, he's had 7. That is ridiculous. So if he keeps that up, he might be sack leader by the end of the year, especially with that. So Washington finishes 4-4 on the week, and they didn't gain any ground in the NFC East. So got some work to do. Let's go ahead and keep moving this thing on. We're going to go to the playoffs and see what happens here. All right, we finished 9-7, and we just did not get in. The Eagles came in the last spot at 9-7, so we missed the playoffs right behind the Eagles. I wonder if that's because of division record. I'm not sure. I don't even know if you can see that in Madden currently. Let's look. Does it show division? No, we're 3-3, so I wonder if they won the head-to-head matchup. Nonetheless, hey, winning record from a rookie quarterback, I think is pretty daggone good. You're right there. You almost, just 1 win away from really. If we'd have won against the Giants there, we would have been in first place. So that's not that bad. I'm not too upset with that. Jamarcus Russell finishes with 15 touchdowns and 13 interceptions, 59 completion percentage. Just nothing to brag about. He runs in 3 more touchdowns on top of that. Only picks up 179 yards rushing, so he's not doing a lot there. Terry McLaurin does not get 1,000 yards. He only gets 1 receiving touchdown, so we got to get him involved a little bit more there. And then defense, again, I'm just going to stay up to date with Chase Young. Montez Sweat ends up having 12.5, and Chase Young at the midpoint had 5 sacks, only gets 1 in the final 8 games. That's not going to get it done. All right, the first season is in the bag. We're going to go ahead and fast forward in the offseason. We're going to stay up to date. We'll see who Ron Rivera and the GM. I don't even know who the GM for the Washington football team is. That's kind of sad for me. Anyways, let's see who they bring in and try to help their rookie quarterback, their franchise quarterback. And let's get this ball rolling. All right, Jamarcus Russell actually wins Offensive Rookie of the Year, right behind Donnell Young. You know, again, this is a fantasy, so who even knows who the heck that is. And so that's pretty much it. So that's something to put on your hat, trying to get to the Hall of Fame. You want to win a prestigious award like Offensive Rookie of the Year. So it's pretty good. I think he kind of snuck away with that one, you know, especially with his low touchdown numbers. But his team did have a positive record, or a winning record, so that's always a plus. Let's see who wins the Super Bowl. Seattle Browns. I've been doing a lot of Sims, and the Browns have won. There we go. They've won a lot of Super Bowls. So any retirements for the Washington football team? And Alex Smith retires after 17 years. So comes back injury, plays for 2 years, and then he retires. So we're going to go ahead and fast forward to the draft and see if there's anybody that the Washington football team picks up. All right, Washington says, nah, I'm good. We don't need to sign anybody. I don't agree with that, but let's go ahead and start the draft. We're going to sim this draft, see what happens, see if they don't get anybody good. I mean, I think they're in pretty decent cap space. I think they're in Madden, they're like $30 million over the cap. But, you know, they had to pay some money to Jamarcus Russell. So let's see who the Redskins get. Wow, Eric McAllister out of NC State, North Carolina in the house. I'm from North Carolina, so that's pretty cool to see. Not an NC State fan, Chapel Hill fan myself. But 76 overall, 92 speed, got some acceleration. It must be pretty good route running or something, because that's pretty good. Catch is okay. I mean, he's just kind of a middle of the line wide receiver, it looks like. I don't know, maybe I missed something there. But nonetheless, 76 overall, that's two good wide receivers, so they're trying to get him help. They went out and it looks like they reached for a left tackle, so they were trying to get him some offensive line help, and that was a terrible draft pick, 61 overall. And everyone else, I don't think is really going to be much of a help. I mean, we've got Cortland Clinton, but I'm really not too crazy about that. We're going to go ahead and advance this thing. Maybe they pick up somebody in the offseason between now and the regular season. But let's go ahead and fast forward. We'll look at what the draft or what their depth chart looks like, and then we'll keep on moving on. All right, so we got some progress here. 82 overall, 80 offense, 85 defense. But I would imagine that a lot of that's probably just from development of some of these rookies, quarterback and Chase Young, because it hasn't moved up a whole lot. So we got Jamarcus Russell. Le'Veon Bell is down, so it looks like Antonio Gibson is who we're going to rely on out of the backfield. Normal development trade, so he really didn't develop any this past year, because I think he was a 80 overall, maybe he was a 78. I can't really remember, but we do have McAllister and Marcus Allen. Allen didn't really develop that much either. He moved up 2 points, it looks like. Terry McLaurin's still holding in strong. We still got Brandon Scherf and Morgan Moses. But, man, they're starting the left tackle, 61 overall. They're like, hey, man, we drafted him high. We got to put him in. That's going to be trouble. Let's look at this defense. We still got Landon Collins. Montez Sweat's still there. We got Darby, Kevin Fuller, Chase Young, obviously. So the hot Clinton Dix is still there, but he kind of looks like he went down some. So, I mean, for the most part, outside linebackers look like they're okay, a little bit better than previous years, but again, nothing really stands out as far as big free agent signings go, but maybe this year can be a little bit different. Maybe Jamarcus Russell will grow a little bit. He's already at an 83 overall, so he's developed quite a lot. Now, I gave him a superstar. I did not give him X Factor. You got to earn that X Factor, you know, and especially with him being we knew that he was a bust. I wanted just to give him kind of the ability to grow if he proved it. If not, you know, that's on him. But 83 overall, that's pretty daggone good, I think. I mean, throwing power is 98. His medium accuracy actually has increased a lot. His deep accuracy has not at all. But I don't know. It's pretty interesting to see. Let's go ahead and go to the midway point of this season and see what we got. All right, we did not finish strong. 3-13. So we won 2 games. I guess that's better than the first half of the season. But NFC East champions switch again. It was the Cowboys last year. Now it's the Eagles, Philadelphia Eagles. And we're at the bottom of those rankings at 3-13. So you know, it's not looking good for Jamarcus Russell starting off. I mean, 29 touchdowns. He threw 13 interceptions, 57 completions. So it's nothing to kind of brag about there. I mean, he did get better though, right? He did get better. Let's look at this year over year here. And, you know, he almost doubled his throwing touchdowns. He had less sacks. He had the same interceptions, so that's good. His passer rating went up. Completion percentage did drop, though. Rushing the ball, he ran for more yards this year, but had one less touchdown. So it's okay. I mean, it's better, but your team's record, you know, people say winning is not a quarterback stat, but unfortunately it is, right? Quarterbacks are judged on their winning record, and we'll have to say that this year was worse than his first year just because statistically the team did worse. Antonio Gibson did nothing. We got to get him a running back. Marcus Allen had 1,000 yards receiving. I'm pulling for Marcus Allen for whatever reason. He had 7 touchdowns receiving. Terry McLaurin turned it up, had 800 yards and through the air and 10 touchdowns. So good to see him going. He won't be, hopefully his talent's not going to be a waste. And Landon Collins leads us in tackles. Chase Young, 9.5, almost a double-digit sacks. Montez Sweat had 8.5. So, man, Montez Sweat showing Chase Young up right now. And we might be getting rid of Chase Young. I don't know. We'll have to see. The tablet is through Ron Rivera's chest right now. He needs to go get that fixed. But we're going to go ahead and sim to the Super Bowl and see who wins the Super Bowl. You see what I mean, guys? I mean, the Browns are in the Super Bowl again. Like, I just don't get it. Let's go through the yearly awards. Patrick Mahomes has won MVP twice now in a row. He won it last year. I just didn't show y'all because it really wasn't pertinent. But I just want to see if we were even in the running for anything. Nope. We're in 10th. And I don't even know how we're in 10th with that. I should have known better. But no one else is here. Top of the board for the Washington football team. If I say Redskins, I apologize. I really do. Sorry if I say that. Try not to. Washington football team. I just thought about that. Maybe I did. But nonetheless, let's advance to the next week. See who wins the Super Bowl. If it's the Browns again, that's going to be... I don't know what it is. Has anybody else seen this in their Madden to where the Browns are always in it? They are, I swear, last sim I did, they were in there 3 years in a row and won 2 out of the 3 years. Here they are 2 years in a row and won both of them. So back-to-back Super Bowl champions. Go Browns, I guess. Do we have any retirements? Mason Crosby, Malik Jackson, Justin Houston retires. But do we have any on the Washington football team? No, we do not. All right, so we're going to keep this going. I don't know why I would think that it would be any different. Let's go to the draft. All right, the Washington football team drafts a defensive end, so maybe it's a head scratcher there. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe they're planning on getting rid of Chase Young. Maybe Montez Sweat. I have no idea. Let's see who we could have taken after that could have helped us. I'm just kind of interested here. Defensive tackle, outside linebacker, Russell Johnson would have been great. We don't need another wide receiver, corner. I mean, but I guess there's not a lot of needs there. But outside linebacker would have been great. That would have been awesome. But it doesn't happen. Washington football team takes a defensive end that I don't even know is going to start. So he's going to ride the pine the first year maybe. But we'll see. All right, 83 overall. So it went up a little bit. Offensively, we went up. That's good to see. McAllister went up. He's at 81 overall. We got McLaurin, who actually has a skill point available there. Offensive tackle, left tackle, pretty daggone good. Morgan Moses is gone. It looks like we did not re-sign him. Le'Veon Bell is playing fullback. What? Le'Veon Bell's playing fullback. All right, whatever. We can't. Jamarcus Russell's at 88 overall, guys. That's pretty good. James Robinson's at 87, so he's actually went up some. He spent some of them skill points. So offense is looking pretty good. I mean, I guess we went up because Le'Veon Bell's playing fullback now. We got Holcomb there. Obviously, we got Brandon Neiman that's just chilling. We signed him for no reason to play backup, I guess. I'm really confused by that. Chase Young, 93 overall. Montez Sweat's 88. And we've got Dawkins here at a 78 overall. I just don't get it. That's just a head scratcher. That's Madden for you. Great algorithm and AI by Madden there. Or whatever. Still got Darby, still got Kevin Fuller. So we got some superstar X factors on the defense. It's good to see. Good to see. We got some superstars, obviously on the offense in McLaurin and Russell. I'm feeling optimistic about this. I'm feeling optimistic. This team's a little bit, obviously a lot better, I think, than last year. Let's get to midseason. All right, 10-6. We're going up against the New Orleans Saints. I doubt Drew Brees is still there. Maybe he is. I don't know. So we finished. We got a wild card spot. We did not finish atop the NFC East, but this is, Kyle Shanahan got fired. Wow. This is Jamarcus Russell's first attempt at a Super Bowl. He throws for 30 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, 67 completion percentage. By far and away, his best statistical season. We got James Robinson, finally a 1,000-yard rusher. He had 10 touchdowns on the ground. Antonio Gibson comes right behind him with 725 yards rushing. So we ran the ball a lot this year, which is one of the things that Ron Rivera likes to do. Jamarcus Russell has 4 rushing touchdowns, so that's pretty good. That's the high of his career. And we had 2 750-plus yard receiving wide receivers. Zach Ertz did a pretty daggone good year as well. He had 7 receiving touchdowns on 620 yards receiving. And let's just see what, again, we're going to stay up to date. Chase Young, 8.5. That was his best season. But Montez Sweat, guys, I'm telling you, 13 sacks. We got to re-sign him. But I'm not calling the shots. I'm just along for the ride. You know what I mean? I'm just along for the ride. Let's see what happens week to week. We're just going to fast forward through this and see what happens. See if we win. If we get into the Super Bowl, then we're definitely going to, well, that's not the case. But we were just going to play the moments and see if we can't get a win, or at least watch it. I wasn't going to play it. So that doesn't happen. We end up losing 17-14. That's pretty daggone tough right there. But maybe we're up for a yearly award. You never know. Patrick Mahomes again, back-to-back league MVPs. That is absolutely ridiculous. Matt Hedrick, Coach of the Year. Let's see who Brad Carroll is the Offensive Player of the Year. Jamarcus Russell finished 7th, so that's pretty decent. Defensive Rookie of the Year, we had nobody. Best running back. Doesn't look like we got anything going there. Best quarterback, where did we finish on that? 5th, not too bad. Teddy Bridgewater still with the Panthers. Aaron Rodgers is still hanging around. It's cool to see. Gardner Minshew is with the Lions. Okay. Oh, and their Lions are in the Super Bowl. Interesting to see. Let's just see who wins. I always like to see who wins the Super Bowl. The Raiders, former Jamarcus Russell's team. I said that backwards. They don't win, though. The Lions. Gardner Minshew. I don't know. Jags might not want to give up on him. I doubt it, though. Let's see who retired. Von Miller retires after 13 years. So he does 13 years and he's done. Cameron Jordan is done. Mitchell Schwartz. Got some big names here that are leaving. Anyone else? You got David Castro. J.J. Watt retires. Well, he was with the Eagles. Looks like he never got a Super Bowl. That's a guy I would really love to see get one. J.J. Watt. Colin Kaepernick retired after 10 years. Looks like he was with the Cardinals. Can't see through the hair. And there's no one really else there. Do we have anybody for the football team? No, we did not. So let's go ahead and advance and see if we get anybody in free agency here. And once again, the Washington football team says they don't need anybody. Le'Veon Bell was available to play again, so he must have been hurt. Let's simulate the draft, see who we get. All right, Jamarcus Russell is officially a 92 overall. We can't say he's a bust anymore, so he's just going to have to produce. Somebody's going to always sign him. Robinson increased. McLaurin has increased. McAllister. Ertz is still with us. So we drafted a guy, and we still got Ertz there. I forgot about that. We signed Ertz for a 3-year deal, so I definitely hate that pick now. But look at this. Our right tackle, 66 overall. Man, that's just not good. That's not going to cut it. Chase Young, 95 overall. Montez Sweat's a 90. Hawkins sitting the bench riding the pine. He's at 80 overall. Now, I didn't adjust any of the sliders or anything like that, so you can tell. I mean, there's a lot of increase from year to year. Like Chase Young shouldn't be increasing as quick as he is because he's not producing as much. Although he does have has that superstar X factor. But we still got Kyle Fuller, I'm sorry. And I mean, this team is definitely better than it was the previous seasons. And we got to get it done. 84 overall. I do not want to quit this. Let's see what happens when we go to midseason. 7-9. It's not going to get it done. 4 years in, only one playoff appearance for Jamarcus Russell. He's not able to get it done. He is battling Carson Wentz. He is battling Daniel Jones. He is battling, of course, Dak Prescott. But look at this, guys. 40 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. It was definitely not Jamarcus Russell. This guy's throwing dimes everywhere. a 65 completion percentage there. That's pretty daggone good. He rushes for 236 yards. I think that is a career high for him. Let's actually check this out. If I can get this to pull up, I think that is a career high. Definitely a career high in passing touchdowns. Look at that. They've seen steady progression throughout his career. That's good to see. Yeah, it's career high in rushing yards, but he got no touchdowns. First time that he has not been able to do that. But no fumbles. That's pretty good. No fumbles for him. Let's see. Rushing yards, James Robinson eclipsed 1,000 yards as well. So, but not too impressive. I think 1,500 yards is what running backs are really after. Marcus Allen has another 1,000-yard receiving season, 11 touchdowns. I think this dude's pretty daggone good if I don't say so myself. Did we get any sacks here? Did we get any sacks? Chase Young, yes, he finishes with 11.5. Pretty daggone good. All right, Hawkins does not do a whole lot either, but that is Chase Young's, I think, first double-digit sack season. So definitely doing a lot better. That's good to see. It's good to see that he's hanging around. We've got him probably re-signed, not unless they did a franchise tag on him. But unfortunately, we don't make the playoffs again. Jamarcus Russell. We need to get him some help. I wonder why. Let's actually look at this. I want to look at the stats and see. So we were 10th in the NFL in offensive yards. 28th in defense. So it was defense. The defense crushed us. Did we have anybody make player of the week? There he is. Jamarcus Russell. This is the first time in his 4th year that he has been a top player for the week, and he passed for 4 touchdowns. And that's all he got. So first time in 4 years. So not too bad. Maybe he can win MVP or at least Offensive Player of the Year. But it's kind of hard to do that in Madden when you got a 7-9 record and your team doesn't make the playoffs. But we'll sim ahead and see if he gets lucky enough to get in. The game's broken, guys. Patrick Mahomes, 4 MVPs in a row. Now, Jamarcus Russell was 5th on the awards list. That's pretty good. And there are no other NFC or NFC players ahead of him. So you like to think that he got it, and he did. He got Offensive Player of the Year for the NFC. That is awesome. And he probably also got Best Quarterback. Aaron Rodgers. Where's Dak Prescott? Aaron Rodgers ends up getting Best Quarterback, but I wonder where Dak Prescott's at. Cam Newton is playing for Green Bay. Let's see if we can. I'm just interested in seeing that now. It's Daniel Jones was in that as well. Let's see what Daniel Jones threw up. It's 8-8 record, but whoop-de-doo, I guess, right? Best quarterback. Let's see AFC. I just want to see if Dak Prescott is with the Raiders. Okay, so the Cowboys do not re-sign Dak Prescott. So after Aaron Rodgers retires, it's going to be, well, it looks like they're going to win. Let's see. This is the divisional opponent. Let's see if the Cowboys end up winning the Super Bowl with Aaron Rodgers after getting rid of Dak Prescott, and they do not. Lamar Jackson gets his first Super Bowl victory. So that's awesome to see. I'm a huge Lamar Jackson fan. Wish him nothing but the best. And Bobby Wagner retires. Aaron Rodgers retires. Zach Martin retires. So the Cowboys are definitely reeling here. Do we have anybody else that's pretty big? We got Le'Veon Bell retires for us. So no more halfback that was playing fullback for us anymore. We're going to have to draft somebody. But it's new time for Washington football team, so we need to get somebody else in. we're going to fast forward this thing and see if we didn't get any offensive weapons here, or maybe at least some. Man, we got to at least get some offensive line help. And we did. We got Isaiah Wynn, left tackle. I like it. Maybe we move him over to right tackle. We got right guard Solomon Kinley. Cody Barton is outside linebacker. That is awesome to see. We get a strong safety and Mike Merritt. And then Dean Bush is middle linebacker. Why are we signing all these middle linebackers? But that's pretty good. That's been the best offseason so far. Now, can we pair that up with a good draft? Because the drafts have been very, very bad for Ron Rivera and Washington. So we need a big one out of them here. Drum roll, please. Let's see what we got. And nope, it's crap. We drafted an outside linebacker, Von Tarpley. Did he at least have a development trait? And he's got a hidden development trait, so it's pretty good. And he's more of a pass coverage, so I don't even know if he'll start, because we also signed an outside linebacker. But man, these drafts have been pretty bad. And he was a 13th overall pick. I just like to see who was behind him that they could have picked. Middle linebacker, left tackle. No, he was not that good. Is there anybody here? Demarius Massey. Oh, I mean, running back. That would have been nice to have for future years. But nah, okay. I can kind of see why there's not a lot of talent there. But let's see if this is year 5 for Jamarcus Russell. Let's make sure he's still on the team. I don't think they let him go. Obviously, they're probably, yeah, he's still here. 96 overall. But yeah, I mean, look at this offense. McLaurin's a 99. We got McAllister here is at 88, and we did not re-sign our slot guy there, Marcus Allen. He's gone, so it's time for them to step up. Now watch Jordan here have an awesome season. All right, 85 overall. Defense is 87. This team is growing and building and getting better year after year. I don't know if that's just because it's our team or because this team's actually growing and getting better. I don't know. Always feels like every team always just grows exponentially year after year, and there's not a lot of regression. That's why you got sliders there, right? All right, Jamarcus Russell, 95 overall. This dude is balling out. Maybe he can get to a 99. He has another good year. Potentially he could. Robinson 90, McLaurin, so we still got everyone there. Offensive line this is the best offensive line that they've put together for Russell since his inception in the league. So hopefully he can turn things around there. We still got Chase Young, Montez Sweat. We still got Allen here. Adderley. Grant, is that Grant? Who is that? That's all right. So we got some no-name corner. But the team is definitely better. Looks like the secondary is kind of sketch, especially that right side with strong safety and CB2 there. But, man, that defensive line, look at this, 91, 90, 95, 97. So they better be getting after the quarterback. This defense has to be better, without a doubt. And hopefully this is the year that this can happen. Defense wins championships. This defense is pretty good. We just had a quarterback have 40 touchdowns, a little of a 40 burger. So let's see what we got. All right, we finished 6-10. Man, this team is struggling. We just can't get it together. Let's see. Jamarcus Russell did okay. 26 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. It's not bad. Definitely not what he did the year before. Robinson doesn't rush for as much. Why are we giving our fullback that many carries? Well, Bonner is actually, he's the back. Okay, he's a halfback. Okay, so he's a running back. They got him at fullback. Wade Stands, the slot guy that replaced Marcus Allen, has 1,000 yards. So it looks like Jamarcus Russell likes to throw to a slot guy. There's nothing wrong with that. There's been a lot of great quarterbacks that like their slot guys, right? I mean, look at Tom Brady, Peyton Manning. They had Wes Welker, Julian Edelman. So, I mean, you know, slot guys rule sometimes. And a lot of good wide receivers are playing slot now. But we did not get anything going. Barton had 8 sacks. Montez Sweat comes back with 8. Allen had 7.5. And again, Chase Young is very underwhelming. 5.5 sacks. That's just not going to get it done. The offense did improve just a little bit. Just a little bit. Defense regressed, though. So maybe that's kind of why we weren't able to get anything done. But it's just team just feels kind of stale. I don't know, like there's not a lot going on, and we're not able to get a lot done. Well, let's sim to the Super Bowl, see who's in it. Vikings, Jags. I don't even know who's on either team. Yearly awards. Joe Burrow, check that out. Joe Burrow wins his first MVP with an 8-8 record. Patrick Mahomes, finally somebody knocks him off the board. So this could have been the year that Jamarcus Russell could have got it done, but he just kind of, he was mediocre, or not mediocre. He was just kind of ho-hum, and obviously his team didn't do anything either. So that means a lot. And I don't think he's going to win any awards here. Doesn't look like we have anybody. Not even a kicker. Let's see who wins the Super Bowl. Vikings win the Super Bowl. So all you Vikings fans, congrats. I would personally like to see the Panthers in there, but they're not there. Cam Newton retires after 15 years. It's pretty much only the headline. Marcus May. Okay, Duke Johnson. Aaron Donald retires after 12 years. Okay, Aaron Donald is gone out of the league, or he's not in the league anymore. So Javon Hargraves, Kyle Juszczyk is gone. So one of the most athletic and versatile fullbacks in recent memory. D Ford. Okay. Nobody really did other than that stands out. Did we have anybody? We did not have anybody. Let's sim to the draft, see if we signed anybody potentially that could help this team out. I think we need defensive back help and offensive line help. And once again, I mean, we don't get anybody. We don't sign anybody. We don't pick up anybody. What are y'all doing? What are you doing? You're going to waste this good talent that we have in Jamarcus Russell. All right, 87s across the board. So offense is definitely improved again. I would hope that means, yes, Jamarcus Russell's 98, 1 point away from being a 99, joining that 99 club along with Terry McLaurin. McAllister is coming up with 91 as well. Robinson's increased. I mean, tight end Fowler is doing very well. Hancock is starting for us at right tackle. So, I mean, I guess that makes that draft a little bit better. But I think the offensive line overall is kind of the same, maybe slightly worse. I don't really know. Chase Young is still with us. So is Kyle Fuller. Montez Sweat is with us as well, but we did not. We got rid of the backup wide receiver or defensive end that we signed a few years ago. I don't know what happened with him. But Holcomb has regressed. He was at an 80, so he's at a 79 now. So we'll have to see that. Barton is 81 overall. He's our top linebacker. But overall, our linebacker group is looking better there. It looks like Stokes is going to ride the pine a little bit. Maybe rotate in and do a little something. But maybe we got him because Allen and Payne will be, Payne, I think, has regressed a little bit. So he's probably gone maybe after this season or next. I really don't know. Not really involved in the contracts. We're just here, we're here for the ride, and we're going to fast forward this thing and see what happens. So we tried 8-8 record. Not good enough. The middle of the pack, 8-8 will get you. Mediocrity kills you, and that's what we've been. This team has been mediocre at best, but look at that, 88 overall. I mean, this team is definitely underperforming. There's no doubt about that. Definitely underperforming. Let's check the stats. 13th in offensive yards in the NFL. Let's check the defense. Second. We had the second best defense when you're looking at defensive yards or yards against. Points allowed for. So really that's what you look at. We had the fourth best offense or fourth best defense in the NFL. 31 passing touchdowns for Jamarcus Russell. 10 interceptions. So that's a pretty daggone good year. I mean, James Robinson had 1,200 yards. McLaurin, Jordan. I mean, they spread the wealth. I really like that he's spreading the wealth here. Brandon Fowler had a pretty decent year for tight end. That's good to see, but Chase Young does not do much of nothing again. Jared Allen had eight sacks, but guys, I don't know what to think about this. That sucks to see, because I think Jamarcus Russell's doing everything he can in his power to keep this team in it. But when you're simming, it's just you don't really get a good grasp on what all's going on. but it doesn't really matter. Chiefs, Cowboys. Who do the Cowboys have for quarterback right now? That's interesting. We have to look at that. Josh Allen wins MVP. Patrick Mahomes does not get it. Who is the quarterback for the... Russell Wilson is with the Eagles now? What? It's crazy to see how quarterbacks change hands here. But I'm interested to see who the quarterback is for the Cowboys. It doesn't show. We got to look at this. We got to look this up. But let's first, before we do that, let's see if we had anybody specifically. Nope. Anybody here that won an award for the Washington football team? No. Joey Sly moves from the Panthers to the Saints. Peter Wall for the Cowboys. So they drafted a quarterback, and they must have drafted him a while ago because he's got 5 years experience, or either he signed him in free agency. I'm not really sure, but nonetheless, 77 overall, and you know, they get it done. I mean, we got a quarterback who's almost a 99 overall. He might have progressed over the season, and he is. So we got a quarterback 99 overall that can't even get into the playoffs. I don't know what's up with that. Hopefully the Chiefs win. We don't want to see the Cowboys win because, you know, they're a divisional opponent. We don't ever want to see them win or get any shine or love. And they do. They win by one. The Cowboys get a Super Bowl since the 90s. It's been quite some time. Andrew Norwell retires. La'el Collins retires. Tyrann Mathieu. Do we have anyone else? Khalil Mack retires after 13 years. Russell Wilson after 15. Xavier Howard retires. A lot of big names here. Eric Kendricks is gone. Shaquille Barrett. Derrick Henry retires after 11 years. Derrick Henry retires. Wow. That's crazy to see. Michael Thomas retires after 11 years. Marcus Peters. Trey Turner. Byron Jones. James Bradbury. A lot of guys retiring early. Tyron Smith after 16 years. DeAndre Hopkins is gone. Do we have anybody else? This is a blockbuster retiree list. Man, there's a lot of guys gone in the NFL. That's crazy to see. Where is the team here? I guess, do we not have anybody? Why can't I find them there? Nope. All right, we didn't have anybody that retired for us. So let's advance. 8-8 again. So it seems like the best we can do. We finished, what, 9-7? And every year after that has just been a struggle. I don't know what's going on here, guys. I mean, the team has got the talent. They are just not performing. 20 touchdowns thrown. That's probably not a good sign there. 20 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. That's okay. He's just not throwing the ball a lot down the field. I wonder what is going on there. James Robinson, 838 yards. So, you know, he had 5 yards rushing, or 5 touchdowns rushing. So that's a career high. I think that's also career high in yards rushed as well, but only by a few yards. McLaurin and McAllister almost. I think if Jamarcus Russell would have thrown the ball more, we probably would have had y'all at 1,000 yards receiving. That sucks for you guys. Chase Young, 15 sacks. So he heard us talking junk and he came back through. That's good to see. But offensive yards, yeah, we were 22nd in the NFL in offensive yards. We were 10th in defense, so defense did okay. Let's look at point totals here. 21st in points scored, so that's right there. What's going on? And we had the 7th best defense, so that's not that bad. Let's look at the weekly awards. Do we have any weekly awards here for Jamarcus Russell? Had another one. Same week that Tarpley had one. So that was a pretty good week for him, and that looks like it. So Jamarcus Russell opens up with a Offensive Rookie of the Year. He's only had 2 Player of the Weeks, and he's had 1 playoff berth. And that was a wild card of that. He has no division titles. Things are not looking good for him in the Hall of Fame. That is for sure. And he's had some seasons where he's actually done his part, but the defense hasn't done his part. And then this year, defense did pretty well, but he's not doing well. So I'm an idiot. Hold on. We are in the playoffs. I totally blanked out on that. So let's see if we beat the 13-3 Vikings. That's got to be definitely an upset, and we won. 28-7. It's interesting. All right, let's keep fast forwarding this. Let's see if the Giants 13-3 division opponent. I can't believe I totally glanced over that. And we lose 21-14. So Jamarcus Russell does get his second playoff berth, his first playoff victory, and he is 1-2 in the playoffs now currently, if I'm not mistaken. So that's not too bad. It's not too bad. At least they got to the playoffs. At least he won a game. That is, I guess, progress, even though you're 8-8. I'd like to see him win get some double-digit wins on the scoreboard or on the record there. But nonetheless, got a playoff win. That's good to see. So Giants, Bengals, Joe Burrow, Daniel Jones. I'm assuming that Daniel Jones is the quarterback. Let's look at the yearly awards. We should be able to find out here. Yep, Daniel Jones doing pretty daggone good. But Julian Hawkins, I guess he's quarterback. I wish I told you if they were quarterback or not. Because you technically can be a running back and get it. I know for a fact. Because I've done that in one of my other sims. Offensive Player of the Year goes to Julian Rudolph in the NFC. Don't even have Jamarcus Russell there. And I don't think we got anyone else on top of the leaderboards. Like Saquon Barkley was there for running back. Andrew Thomas, best offensive line. Best defensive line. Chase Young got that defensive lineman, so that's good to see as well. But no one here. Let's see who wins the Super Bowl. Giants do not win it. So back-to-back years, we have an NFC East team. We had the Cowboys last year. We got the Giants this year. Giants do not win. Joe Burrow gets his Super Bowl victory. I'm assuming that he is with the Bengals again, but maybe not. But I'm assuming that he is. Odell Beckham retires after 14 years, guys. Joe Thuney retires. Tyreek Hill retires after 12 years, so no longer that deep threat for Patrick Mahomes. Tyler Higbee retires as well, and it doesn't look like there's anyone else. Darius Smith, DeForest Buckner, Trey Flowers. Keenan Allen is gone after 15 years, so he hung around for a while. Carson Wentz retires, guys, after 12 years in the NFL. Kevin Byrd is gone as well. Brandon Cooks. Derek Watt is gone. I don't think Nick Martin. Derek Carr retires after 14 years. So we've got some guys that have kicked the bucket. I don't think we had anybody for us. Let's just make sure. I don't know why I said kick the bucket. Nobody for the Washington football team. All right, here we go. Finally, I think we got a decent draft here. This looks like a pretty decent draft. Obviously, Trent Sharp, hybrid, 76 overall. We got him at pick 25. That's pretty good. Is he normal development tree? So he doesn't even have that superstar X factor, but 76 overall, that's got to be top of the class. You got to think. Then we come behind him with Jalen McManus out of Oklahoma, cornerback. So that's another good depth player as well for the Washington football team. But everyone else is more, oh man. Jose Hopkins here, 59. That's pretty bad. But everybody else's, I think, is pretty good. Pretty decent. And man, this is what year? Was it 9? Year 9 for or year 8? There's year 8 for Jamarcus Russell, and we only have 2 playoff appearances. He's got a 1-2 record in the playoffs. He has an Offensive Rookie of the Year trophy on his mantle, but no MVP. His record, his overall win-loss record is terrible. Remember, people always say that winning or wins is not a quarterback stat, but it really is. We all hold quarterbacks accountable to those wins and losses because they play such a valuable role in it, right? And his ain't too good. I mean, I would say his is definitely his sub 500. His probably might be sub 400. I really don't know. But opening up against Super Bowl champs, Joey Burrow, and maybe this is the year. Actually, let's not move on. Offense 88. So it looks like overall we regressed a little bit. We were at 87, I believe, and now we're 86. So we went down a little bit, but the offense has definitely gotten better. McLaurin has dropped. So he was a 99, now he's a 96. So we're starting to see some regress from him. Robinson has regressed a little bit as well. We actually have 2 running backs here. But, is Silver a running back? Maybe he's a running back. Not really sure. And offensive line-wise, I mean, still have Wynn here, Isaiah Wynn. But is it Isaiah Wynn? But other than that, it's just kind of mediocre. We've got a decent center. Tight end Fowler has been pretty good for us on that outside. No more Kyle Fuller. He is now gone. We still have Chase Young. We still have Montez Sweat. We still have Allen Stokes, who we drafted a few years ago. Finally getting a start. Finally. But again, that secondary is kind of sketch. But maybe we can hit home with something here. I mean, secondary's been pretty decent all sim long, all franchise long, but hasn't really helped us. So maybe now that they're pretty bad, it'll help us out. 5-2 record, and we finished 3-6. 3-6. Can you believe that? And the Giants win with an 8-8 record. What? Guys, what? I just don't know what to do. Jamarcus Russell, 20. I don't know why I said James. Jamarcus Russell with 26 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. It's not that bad. But he's just not throwing a lot, you know? He's not completing a lot of, he's not getting a lot of yards a game. James Robinson has over 1,000 yards rushing. That's not bad. He had no fumbles. Bryce Falk did pretty decent, especially out of the slot, all things considering. But Jamarcus Russell had a touchdown, 178. It's just disappointing to see. We've got a really good quarterback here. I mean, he's progressed to a 99 overall, and nothing has happened. And Chase Young is doing something here. He's got 11.5 sacks. It's pretty good. Not no big numbers, but he is nonetheless proving his worth now, especially after I'm sure they paid him. I've got to turn around here. I don't know where I'm going. But I guess, let me double check, make sure we're not playing. No, we're not. Playoff bracket. Yeah, that sucks that the Giants get in. They got the 3rd seed. So that means the Panthers had a worse record than them? What? Or at least their strength of schedule was worse. But we didn't get it nonetheless. Let's go ahead and advance to the Super Bowl. All right, Kyler Murray wins his first MVP. Anthony Lynn is the coach of the year there. Kyler Murray takes home Offensive Player of the Year. Do we have anybody on the Washington football team? Alvin Kamara? Nick Bosa? Doesn't look like it. Nothing happening. Let's see who wins this Super Bowl. Jaguars win the Super Bowl 26-20. And do we have anybody big here? Kenny Golladay retires. Keanu Neal retires as well. Chris Jones, defensive tackle, is gone. Do we have anyone else? Justin Simmons, Tyler Moton, after 12 years, offensive tackle for the Carolina Panthers. Laramie Tunsil's gone. Travis Kelce retires. He's with the Rams. So he left the Chiefs. That's interesting. Devontae Adams retires after 15 years. Calvin Ridley has retired after 11. Desmond King has retired. Okay, so nobody, I don't know if there's anybody for the Washington football team. Seems like nobody wants to retire for them. Once I find them, Ron Rivera. Head coach Ron Rivera has retired. That might be a good thing. Change of scenery might be good. Looks like we got, I did not even notice that, guys. Mike Tomlin is now the coach for the Washington football team. Leaves one historic franchise to come and establish his roots in another. But let's see if he can potentially get somebody here that's worth a crap in the free agency. All right, 4-4 record. The Giants are 5-2. And this is, again, just mediocrity. That's what I should name this title of this video, just mediocrity. That's it. Just put mediocrity. Probably with that Washington logo, everybody will know what that means. Let's check out Jamarcus Russell is not even starting, guys. Is he hurt? What's going on here? I mean, assumed that he was still on the team. Did he get hurt in preseason? He did. Oh, man, that sucks. That sucks. Let's see what he looks like here as far as injuries go. Oh, he's got a broken femur. He's out for one more week. Well, 4-4 record with him being out all season. That's pretty respectable, you know. So let's just send him to the playoffs, see if he can't get in there, rejuvenate the team, and get them in the playoffs. Check that out, 11-5, and we get into the playoffs. We win the division for the first time. Now, is that Jamarcus Russell? Or I think it is 4-4 record, and they finished at 11-5. So he finished out 7-1. That's pretty good, right? Isn't that right? Did I do that math right? Or, wait, they were 4-4. Yeah, 7-1. Math's hard. But before we start, let's look at the stats. Let's see what he did to finish this second half of the season. 17 touchdowns, 1 interception. That'll do it every time. Robertson didn't get 1,000 yards. McAllister had 938 yards receiving. Almost had 2,000 yard receiving wide receivers. And did we have anything? Chase Young had 11.5. So he's average. Chase Young's averaging about 10 a clip now at this point. That's cool to see. Yeah, I mean, look at the last 3 years, 15, 11.5, 11.5. Pretty good. He's having a decent career. And let's look at the awards, see if we had any weekly awards. I mean, I'm assuming that he had at least one of these, right? No, nothing. Nothing there. I'm interested in looking at the career here. I wanted to go back and look at Myles Garrett and see if he took over. He did 224. Holy crap. Do we have anyone else that took over any of these stats along the way? No, I mean, Jerry Rice's stats, man, they're not going anywhere. That's ridiculous. Have we had anybody recently break any stats as far as single season stuff goes? And we'll look at these again at the end of, oh, there's somebody. Defensive sacks, Myles Garrett at 28. Holy crap. This dude is, I mean, look at this. 23, 24, 28. We don't even need to do a sim on Myles Garrett because we know he's going to be the best ever. I mean, that's basically what we're saying. Let's see. We just lost to the Vikings, and we got to play them again in the playoffs, so maybe we can get our sweet revenge on them here and win this game. We don't. We lose. Jamarcus Russell loses again. I actually want to look at this. I want to see what happens here. I want to see what happened in this game. Schedule. Let's go playoff schedule here. Wow, where are we at? We got beat 35-17. Player stats. Here we go. 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Jordan Love comes out of nowhere and throws 4 touchdowns. Wow. I mean, what can you do about that? Look at Justin Jefferson. He'd be another good one, another good guy to do for a Madden sim, career sim. But it seems like positional players are kind of weird, so you just never know what you're going to get out of them. But, I mean, I guess that's any player in general. So, once again, that brings Jamarcus Russell's record to 1-3 in the playoffs. It's not too good. All right, here we go. Cowboys, Bengals. The Cowboys are back in it. It seems like everyone has gotten in to the Super Bowl in the NFC East except for the Washington football team. I am so sorry, Washington football team fans. Joe Burrow wins another MVP. So he has 2. Patrick Mahomes now has, 4? I mean, look at that legacy score. That's ridiculous. And just not a lot of love for little old Jamarcus Russell. I can't say little, dude's absolutely massive. Let's see if the Cowboys take the cake or if Joey Burrow. Nope, he loses. Cowboys take it. That's two Super Bowl victories for the Cowboys in this simulation. And we're just going to go ahead. Oh, let's check the retirements. Ezekiel Elliott retires after 14 years. Dalvin Cook has retired. Kendall Fuller has retired. Do we have anybody on our team? Mike Tomlin retires. So one and done for Mike Tomlin. Takes us to the playoffs. He wins the division, and then he says, I'm done. I wanted one shot at it. Now we got some guy here. Looks like he's got jogging pants on. I don't know how serious I can take coach who wears jogging pants. But nonetheless, he is our coach. Let's actually look at it. I don't know who it is. Oh, we don't have anybody. It's just some... Oh, it must be like the scout or something. But nonetheless, let's fast forward. Terrible draft. We take Percy Lowry with the first round pick, and he's a 68 overall. I mean, none of these guys can even do anything for us. That's terrible. We didn't get anybody in free agency. Guys, this team might be the worst one we've got. That's not good news for Jamarcus Russell. Let's send ahead to the regular season. We're going to look over this roster and see what we've got. Because, man, yeah, 84 overall. We dropped from, what, an 88 was our high. Now we're at 84. It's not too good. But, hey, maybe this is what we need to get man, my phone's blowing up. To get Jamarcus Russell into the Super Bowl. Terry McLaurin's still there. We still got McAllister. Lowry is going to be our starting running back. First round pick, 68 overall. That's terrible, actually. Offensive line is still okay. Guards could definitely use some improvement. Defensively, we have moved to a 3-4. So Chase Young, Montez Sweat are our bookend ends. We've got Payne here, still holding down defensive tackle. And yeah, Isaiah Simmons is playing safety for us. So everyone else is kind of just fantasy players at this point. It's going to get to a point if Jamarcus Russell's still around that we won't know any of the players in the franchise anymore. But here we are, week 1, going up against the Cowboys. Divisional or Super Bowl opponents. Again, we've got to go up against them. They're really killing us with the schedule. Let's see if we can't get into the playoffs. All right, here we go. Washington football team is in with an 8-8 record. And with that expanded playoff spot, we squeeze in yet again going against the Atlanta Falcons. The Cowboys are atop the NFC East with a 9-7 record. Let's see. Jamarcus Russell has 4,000 yards passing, 32 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, 64 completion percentage. I think this is one of his better passing yard seasons to date. And yeah, I'm right. This is the first time he's been over 4,000 yards. So pretty daggone good. And I think that is his second best. Yeah, it's his second best passing total. So that's pretty good for him. Pretty good for him. He took the second most sacks of his career. But hey, man, it is what it is. You know, you just got to keep grinding it out. He did have 259 yards passing per game. That actually helped out with that overall total. Percy Lowry, terrible. McLaurin still didn't get 1,000 yards, but he was our leading receiver. And let's check on Chase Young, see what he ended up with. Sack total 16.5. Man, this guy's a end of the season player. Montez Sweat had 9, Payne had 7.5. So Isaiah Simmons had 5 interceptions. So that's good to see as well. Maybe they can turn some of that on here in the playoffs and string some games together and get to the Super Bowl. Again, one and done is the name of the game for Jamarcus Russell and the Washington football team. Here we are down again. We lose by 3 to the Atlanta Falcons, and we didn't extend our playoffs. We're 1-4 in the playoffs. That's tough, you know. Dolphins, Vikings playoff or Super Bowl opponents. Patrick Mahomes wins yet another MVP. The dude is unstoppable. That's probably going to happen. I mean, it's inevitable at this point. Dude is just an absolute stud. And we don't have anything here. Jamarcus Russell did finish 3rd, right behind Trent Thomas and Lance Melvin, whoever they are. But you know, I'm kind of feeling like Jamarcus Russell is not going to get in the Hall of Fame. He's going to finish as a very average quarterback. I could be wrong, but we'll keep finishing this out and see what happens. All right, the team is slowly getting worse. 81 overall. Players are getting older. We're having really, really bad drafting. The organization is doing a terrible job drafting. Jamarcus Russell is now down to a 98. Both of our wide receivers are no longer in the 90s, so that hurts. Our offensive line is terrible. They have done I'm not saying they've done a bad job. Jamarcus Russell, throughout his career so far, has had some really good wide receivers, but a terrible offensive line and decent running backs. Running backs has been okay. James Robinson was pretty good. But the defense has been, I think, pretty good. They've been spotty, but Chase Young, Montez Sweat has been there from the start. It's pretty good there. We've got a X Factor player in Von Tarpley that we drafted a few years ago, I believe, or did we sign him? But nonetheless, 28 overall, got an X Factor player back there, and Justin Simmons is gone. Isaiah Simmons is gone. Well, let's see if maybe this can be the year. I feel like I've been saying that every year for what now? 11 years? So we finished with an 8-8 record. And we don't make the playoffs. So that's twice that we've finished 8-8 and been tied with the New York Giants, and they beat us out for whatever reason. Not unless I was saying, we didn't make it. The Cardinals beat us out. Don't know what their record was, but we're going to fast forward to the Super Bowl and look at the yearly awards. We'll check stats at that point in time. All right, the Cardinals, the 7th seed in the NFC, going up against the Jaguars again. Jaguars are in there once more. Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes wins a MVP again. Let's go back to Offensive Player of the Year. Trent Thomas has gotten that on lock. We see Jamarcus Russell there in 7, so he must have had a decent year, but probably nothing to brag about. And Devon Mooney won Best Running Back. Terry McLaurin got Best Wide Receiver. Okay, I'm interested to check these stats. Best Kicker goes to Lucas Nawak. Okay, let's check these out. Let's check out these stats here. See what happened. 26 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, 55 completion percentage. That completion percentage really hurt us. Devon Mooney had 891 yards rushing and 7 touchdowns, and he was the best running back in the NFC. What? Okay. And Terry McLaurin had 1,200 yards, so his best statistical season since we have done this. Simulation. So that's good to see. Let's go and check on Chase Young, see what he has. We always check on him just because he was young too, and he had 10.5. Montez Sweat came back with 13. We haven't really heard much from him last few years, but he had another good season, and it looks like the offense was just kind of bad all the way around. Defense wasn't really that much better. The team is definitely regressing. I hate to see that. You hate to see a 99 overall quarterback, Jamarcus Russell, come back and give another chance at potentially winning some Super Bowls, maybe making some runs in the playoffs, and he just hasn't been able to do it. Let's advance to the next week, see who wins the Super Bowl. All right, the Jaguars win again. Let's check retirements out. Do we have anybody on the team that could potentially be leaving us? Montez Sweat retires after 13 years, so no longer having that bookend defensive end opposite of Chase Young. But I think we got a decent backup. We'll just have to see, and we'll probably try to draft somebody as well. All right, years 2032, and we are an 80 overall. The team has just fell off a cliff. It's tough to see. Let's check out the drafting. The drafting has been terrible. Jamarcus Russell has regressed again, another point. Now you see McAllister is an 85 overall, and Goddard is a 78. So McLean is gone. Terry McLean is gone. I don't know if he retired or he left. I didn't see an update that he retired, so he must have. We just didn't re-sign him. And the offensive line is just absolute garbage. We are pretty bad there. Chase Young is also looks like he might have regressed just a little bit there. Obviously, losing Montez Sweat hurts us. This team is very bad. This team is very bad, and they're putting a lot of pressure on Jamarcus Russell. All right, so we finished 4-12. It's pretty bad. We finished on the bottom. Now the Giants seems like they've took over the NFC East. Let's look at these stats. Let's just see what we got. Looks like Jamarcus Russell threw 23 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. Again, he's not throwing a lot. That completion percentage has dropped again. It's 55%. He just barely was under 3,500 yards on the season. But look at the run. I mean, just no run game. No run game. Vince Murray did okay. McAllister really struggled. Man, that picture does not do him justice. It's like he's gained some weight. And let's see what Chase Young had 15 sacks. Hey, Chase Young is doing kind of okay. He's doing kind of okay. He might be getting close to 100 sacks, right? Shouldn't he be getting close to 100 sacks? All right, Chase Young wins Defensive Player of the Year. Now look at that legacy score. Chase Young has 20,000 points. And Chase Young is looking like being a future Hall of Famer. But Jamarcus Russell, not so much. We had no one else there. Let's go ahead and see who wins the Super Bowl. The Giants or the Broncos? Let's hope it's the Broncos. We don't want the Giants to win. And the Giants win another, right? Is that 2 for them? I can't remember losing count. I know the Cowboys won 2, the Eagles won 1, and the Giants won 2. So Jamarcus Russell's sitting here in a division. He's been around for, for 12 years basically, or I'm sorry, 11 years. And he has seen 5 Super Bowl champions of those 11 years come from his own division. That is pretty tough. And I saw the Raiders. I thought Josh Jacobs retires, but I thought Jamarcus Russell retired there. And Eric McAllister retires after 11 years. So that's another big weapon gone for Jamarcus Russell, guys. This is getting to be tough to watch. You're watching a franchise that is just not building around their good superstar quarterback. Regressed once again, 78 overall, and we were 10 points higher just like 4 seasons ago. Jamarcus Russell's dropped down to a 96. Mooney has moved up to an 83, so at least that's good to see. And we've got some young talent on the outside for wide receivers. But man, that offensive line is bad. Chase Young is no longer with the Washington football team. So no longer has the best player on defense is gone. They didn't re-sign him for whatever reason. I have no idea why you wouldn't re-sign him. That seems to be that's a slap in the face if I was Jamarcus Russell. But let's see what happens here. So we finally win another title, 12-4. It's only the second time in Jamarcus Russell's long career so far that he has been able to be a NFC East champion, but it still was not good enough to get him the number 1 overall seed and get him a first week bye. And he's going up against the Dallas Cowboys. But before we do that, let's check out the stats. Let's see what he ended up finishing with. 32 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, 4,100 yards. So that's actually a pretty good season for him. Pretty good season indeed. 282 yards rushing, his most rushing yards. He had 2 rushing touchdowns. Cliff Glenn has over 1,000 yards receiving, so that was good to see as well. So pretty good year from Jamarcus Russell. Maybe good enough to get MVP. Maybe good enough to get Offensive Player of the Year. Maybe good enough to get Best Quarterback. I don't know. We'll see. We'll find out. Let's sim this game, see what happens. So he ended up winning 31-24, and we're going up against the Seattle Seahawks. And we're going to sim this one as well, and hopefully we get to the Super Bowl. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and sim. Nah, I'm not. We're going to sim this week by week to see what happens. Guys, 28-6, we beat the Seattle Seahawks. We're going to go into simulation mode on this one. I want to go and see if we can't potentially win a Super Bowl here. We're going to go to, we'll play the full game, but we're going to sim it. And actually, do we do play the moments? You think that might be a better option? Play the moments. and we'll just fast forward through those moments because we're not going to want to play them. And maybe good old Jamarcus Russell can pull through for us. Now, does Jamarcus Russell not even have a X factor? So he's never had an X factor. He's been a superstar his entire career. Never gotten that X factor trait. That's something that I totally forgot about. But let's get this thing going. All right, so we're up. We're tied game 7-7. Just took the lead 14-7. Looks like the Rams are driving down the field. And 10-14, we're going to skip through these moments. And it's a tight game at halftime. We end up scoring another touchdown, 21-13 now, going into the fourth quarter. 28 we just scored at the beginning of the fourth quarter. 28-13. Looks like, guys, we might be going to a Super Bowl. Okay, called a timeout. The Rams scored a touchdown. Looks like they're going to get another chance at scoring. And, guys, it's over with. The Washington football team beat the Rams, and they get into the Super Bowl. Jamarcus Russell finally gets a NFC Championship under his belt. And that's got to feel pretty daggone good for him. Let's see what his stat line was looking like. He ended up throwing for 387 yards and 1 touchdown. That'll get it done every day. All right, so we are going up against Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens. This should be a good one. This should be a really good game. Let's go ahead and get it started. All right, here we go in the Super Bowl, and the Ravens take the lead 7-0. And then at halftime, they come back and score another touchdown. And it looks like they missed a field goal, but we go down and score a touchdown. Ravens are taking over here. And, guys, it looks like Jamarcus Russell is going to get to a Super Bowl, but is not going to be unable to get it done. He loses by 6 to Sean McVay, Lamar Jackson. And the Baltimore Ravens. That's, if you're going to lose to lose to a team, losing, I think, to either Lamar Jackson or Patrick Mahomes, you can't be too upset with that. But at least he got to a Super Bowl, and I wonder if he held his own. Let's look at the stats here. 220 yards passing, 2 touchdowns. He did throw a pick, but, Lamar Jackson threw for 4. So he just got outgunned. That's all that is. That's tough to see. But there's always next year. He only completed 48.4% of his passes. So really that was the big thing. He didn't complete a lot of passes. All right, so week 1 of the year 2034. And we're at 80 overall now, so that's 2 points increased on the team. So that's good to see. Jamarcus Russell has now dropped to a 94. And he'll probably be around for a few more years, I would imagine. I'm sure if I was him, we got inside the mind of Jamarcus Russell, that he wants to stick around as long as he can to win a Super Bowl. And as long as he's got that high overall rating, we should be good with that. Let's see who else. I got off the screen, but let's see who else we got around us. Still, we got the same wide receivers. Mooney. My God, look at all these running backs that we have. 83 overall. And that offensive line is just garbage. So we have not had a stable offensive line since starting this simulation. It looks like our defensive end here, Justin Stokes, is an X factor at 31. I wonder when that happened. Did we sign him? I don't remember us signing him, so he must have been on the team for a while. I can't really remember off the top of my head because we're just kind of mainly focused on Jamarcus Russell here. But let's fast forward, go to the midseason, and see what happens. So no playoffs for the Washington football team. Again, we're 6-10. Oh, my God, this is brutal. 3,600 yards passing, 24 touchdowns, 18 interceptions. This is just tough. It's just tough. Von Mooning just gets 951 yards. Cliff Glenn almost gets 1,000 yards receiving. And guys, I don't know. It's very, very bleak for Jamarcus Russell's, for his career, for his legacy. Let's look at the stats here. I just want to see if we'll go actually into. All right, here we go into passing yards career. I just wanted to see if he's even ranked in that. He's not. He needs 63,000 yards passing to even be on this board. Lamar Jackson is at 65. Patrick Mahomes is at 74. So Patrick Mahomes could potentially get it. What about passing yards? Where's Patrick? Yeah, he's already broke the record. Holy crap. Let's see defensive sacks. Is Chase Young is there with 159, so he's still around. And he's with the Chiefs, so he left the Chiefs so he could get a Super Bowl. That's all that was. We're not there. Maybe he is. Let's fast forward to see who makes the Super Bowl and who wins. Eagles win, so that's the 6th. I think that's their 3rd. I think it's the Eagles' 3rd Super Bowl. My God, but that's the 6th Super Bowl win by the NFC East, and the Washington football team has not been able to do their part and taking part in that victory celebration. That sucks for them. Nobody on the Washington football team has retired. All right, so the team is a 79. We just dropped just a little bit. Jamarcus Russell is now an 89 overall. You got to think that he's getting into those years where there's not a lot left in the tank. How old is he's 35 years old. This is his 14th year in the league. He's a captain, and just don't know, man. I think this might be his final year. Maybe he's got another left in him. I don't know, but it's not looking good. We gotta get something together for him, but he's again just doesn't have a lot of help. There's not a lot of good. He doesn't have a lot of good weapons. I mean, now we got Harrison here that's 73 overall running back. We've got all this money that we're not spending. The defense is just in shambles. It's old and overpaid, and this team is, oh man, they're like the Browns all of a sudden. All right, the team is 77 overall. I mean, is this the worst this team has been? I don't even remember what the Washington football team was when we started, but Russell has dropped to an 86 overall. Presley has moved up to an 81, so at least that's good to see. But everybody else, I mean, look at the talent here. There's nobody. There's nobody to even talk about. There's nobody to even just say, hey, this dude's good. The team is just, it's poorly put together is the only way I can say this. And I think they're going to waste a really good quarterback. Guys, 8-8 record. I mean, now it's just getting plain frustrating. 27 touchdowns thrown, 7 interceptions, 60 completion percentage. Just don't know what to do here. I mean, we can't do nothing. We're just watching it, but I'm like pulling for the guy. I want to see him do good. And it's just the team's either really good or really crappy, and we're getting the same score. 8-8, 8-8, 7-9, 4-12. All right, 78 overall for the Washington football team. And look at that. Jamarcus Russell's down to an 80, an 82, guys. He's still got the superstar factor, but he is definitely regressing hard here at 37 years old. I'm going to be very surprised if he's back for another season. I'm going to be very surprised. But I think this was a waste of a career. I don't see a Super Bowl team here. I don't even see a playoff team here. We'll see what happens. All right, so we finished the season. You guessed it, 7-9. And we just aren't able to get it done. Jamarcus Russell finishes with 24 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. And he rushes for 265 yards. It's like the most he's ran for in his old age. But guys, I mean, it's just Jamarcus Russell has not been able to get the Washington football team over the hump. I mean, they have just been able to, just be mediocre at best. And that's like the worst thing that you could be as a football team, because it puts you in a position where you can't draft really good players. It just breeds complacency. It's so tough to see. And look, we got the Cowboys versus the Colts. I haven't seen the Colts in the Super Bowl yet. Super Bowl 72. Once again, the NFC East is showing up in the Super Bowl, except for the Washington football team. We've only been there once. It's hurt my heart to see. Marciano is back in there, it looks like. Let's see if we got anybody in there. Doesn't look like it. But yeah, I mean, this is tough. All right, guys. You'll never guess what their record was. 8-8. The Washington football team finishes 8-8, and Jamarcus Russell throws for 24 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, 61 completion percentage, and I think he has to be done here. I just don't see how. Another thing that's broken in Madden is that we've won no Super Bowls. We've got one NFC Championship. We've got no MVPs. We've had a terrible team. And I'm the number 2 owner in the Legacy Leaderboard, my progress in the Hall of Fame. Isn't that just... Wow. Wow, Madden. Jamarcus Russell's really holding on here. He's really holding on to a prayer that he can get this team to a Super Bowl. We're going to stick with him. We're going to see what happens. All right, everybody. So Jamarcus Russell actually moves to the Vikings at age 39. He's 74 overall. So we're going to sim this. We're going to see if Jamarcus Russell is indeed going to be a Super Bowl champion with the Minnesota Vikings. All right, so he's definitely going into a better situation all the way around. 81 overall. Got a really good running back here, Vowles. Got a decent wide receiver group, and a decent offensive line, and it's kind of average. It really is average at best. But the defense is also a lot better. This team is a lot better than the Redskins were in the previous years. So let's see if a change of scenery does them good. All right, guys, here we go. 11-5 record. We finish tied atop the NFC North. We get a wild card spot. The Bears beat us out, but 11-5 nonetheless. Is this kind of like a Brett Favre situation here, or Peyton Manning with the Denver Broncos? 32 touchdowns in the air, 6 interceptions. This is one of his best seasons when you talk about touchdown to interception ratio. It's pretty good. Kevin Vowles has a good year running the ball. Sean Sherman's has a good year receiving, 15 touchdowns, 1,100 yards in the air. So definitely some talent around Jamarcus Russell now, and he's able to do something. And we're going to fast forward straight to the Super Bowl, or we're going to fast forward until we get to the divisional round and see we lose to the Eagles 37-34. That's tough. All right, everybody. Jamarcus Russell has moved on to the Baltimore Ravens. Now, Dwight Simpson is a very young player, 82 overall. The only way that Jamarcus Russell could potentially play is if he got hurt. I'm going to fast forward through this stuff. If anything comes up, I'm going to let you know, and we'll see if he maybe potentially gets some playing time, because I do have injuries on, so players can get injured, and we'll find out. All right, guys, so the Ravens make the playoffs. Jamarcus Russell gets to throw one ball, and he doesn't complete it. But the Ravens have, I think, the top seed in the NFC with an 11-5 record. So how awesome would this be if Jamarcus Russell gets a Super Bowl as a backup? All right, first game's against the Browns, 8-8. Let's see if we can't win this one. Obviously, Jamarcus Russell's not playing, and we lose. We lose the game, and that's all she wrote. All right, guys, here we are. Jamarcus Russell had one more shot. He got on a team that he thought could make the playoffs. I feel sad for them. Doesn't this feel like a story like we watched the inception of a new quarterback, or quarterback trying to get back into the league, make a new name for himself? He spent 20 years in the league. That's a long time. I mean, look at these players. There's nobody that's even close to that. And this video is probably going to be a little bit longer than I intended because Jamarcus Russell wanted to hang around. So he finishes with 20 years put in the league, and that's nothing to scoff at. Let's check these stats. Let's just see if he's atop of the categories of anything here. We'll look at career stats. Oh, he's not going to be in that because he's retired. Let's go to records. And he is. He is what? Second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh. He finishes 7th all time in passing yards with 68,000 passing yards. That's pretty daggone good. Passing touchdowns. He doesn't. Does he? No, he's not on here. I think he was around like 450-ish. So he kind of got close, but he never really got there. But passing yards, he was always there. And I don't think Jamarcus Russell's a Hall of Fame quarterback, right? He doesn't get an MVP. He doesn't get a Super Bowl victory. But one thing that we cannot forget is that going from being the biggest bust in the NFL to being a basically starter for 18 years, playing for 3 different teams, winning an NFC Championship, and getting to the Super Bowl, I think is respectable. And hats off to you, big dog. And more power to him. But I'm looking through here. There's nobody in here that got into the Hall of Fame. And Jamarcus Russell finishes. I mean, he's kind of top. He's top 5 in all the player, top 10, but he just doesn't get no Super Bowls. That was really his biggest thing. If he could have got him a Super Bowl, he probably would have. He probably would have put himself in the Hall of Fame. But guys, if you're enjoying the content, make sure to like and subscribe down below. I appreciate everybody for watching the video. If you stuck around this long, much love. Make sure to check out some of my other content. I'll link them here in the end screen. And I'll catch everybody later. Time to go to sleep. Later.